Welcome back to Shem's Universe. So sorry guys about the rain if you're hearing it today. So I just want to discuss soul urge number 16. So this is to do with Pythagorean numerology. So this is a karmic number, of course. So let's get started. Number 16 consists of number 1, which of course stands for the sun. Number 6 is Venus, and number 7 in Western numerology would be represented by Neptune, which is considered like the shadow planet to the moon, because they have so much similarity. So it's just considered the moon's shadow pretty much. So discussing this a bit further, the number 16 is a very special number because unlike the other karmic numbers, the 16 actually succeeds in their youth quite well. They'll be quite popular. If they have a car, they're the ones to actually decorate, refurnish it, like make it look really nice, do the modifications that you see, like when people lower their cars, etc. If they have a home, the decor will be beautiful because of the 6. The 6 gives them that need for decoration, that need to improve the look of anything around them, including themselves. So these are people that are, even though they're 7s, they are still quite vain to a certain extent. And not vain really a bad way, vain in a way where it's just about a lot of self-respect and having pride. The number 1 gives them the confidence to actually go forward and actually empowers the 6. So it gives you that energy to say, yes, I can do this, yes, I can do that. And it might make you quite selfish as well, especially if it's a soul urge number position, but it definitely will work for you very, very well. The number 7 is where the spiritual actualizer comes in, which is the archetype of this karmic number. It's called the spiritual actualizer, according to most Western numerologists. The reason being is because the 7 now cuts off the traits of the 1 and 6. So that means like in the early youth, you'll have, especially before 25, you're going to have a lot of like great experiences, sensual experiences, adventures, random trips, just a whole bunch of stuff that's just like, wow, your life is pretty much just amazing. After 25, what happens is 7 has more precedence over your life, and in turn you end up having a bit more difficulties in regards to your finances. A lot of friends that you may have thought you had may end up disappearing, and this is all happening for a reason. What this is 1 represents the self, 6 represents Venus, which is like beauty, decoration. We know all about Venus already. And then number 7, of course, we know about through both sides of numerology, the Vedic and the Western, that show that it's always about cutting off, having dispassion with men for like money, and women, men, and vanities such as their own ego and maybe their own vanity and their looks, etc. So what this does is it ultimately cuts off the ego, cuts off your personality. And how does it do that? Because our personality clings to the things that are around us. Like I'm in a car right now, I have an Acura TL. I'm going to cling to this, say I'm the owner of an Acura TL. I'm a home owner. I have a job, etc. These are the things that I'm going to naturally connect to because I naturally feel like that's a part of me. But the 7 now is here to rectify all that and say, no, that's not a part of you. You are inside of your own body. And the things that are, like you are inside of yourself, and the things that are outside of you are just reflection of some of the stuff that you can manifest. But really and truly, what you are is infinite. You don't die, you're infinite. And the 7 is really a connector to that spiritual realm. That's why the 7 is so special in the Bible and in other religious contexts as well. So when you understand this, understand that the soul urge karmic debt number of 16, what it does is really actualize your ego. It makes you actually realize that your ego is an illusion, and it brings you more in contact with your spiritual self. So I'd argue that this is the most like spiritual karmic number you can have. The 14 and 13 teach you things about how to manifest in the physical world. They just give you lessons, and they give you a bit of hardships based on your past prior karmas. But this one is very much a completion sort of number that's actually trying to bring you to a greater understanding of what you're in, as in this physical realm, and also what the infinite realm has to offer you. If you look at it from that perspective, you'll actually have a lot easier time in the transition, because this number 7 is it's gonna cut a lot of things off for you. It's gonna make you lose your job randomly. It can make a lot of things happen depending on your spiritual awareness. I'm not saying that's automatically gonna happen. There are other numbers, of course, that play a role in this. That's not your whole core chart, but it will attract those sort of situations that are gonna make you sit back and think like, what did I do wrong here? And it might not be anything. Like in your physical realm, it might not literally be anything. But what it might have to do with is the fact that you have to find your inner self. And through finding your inner self, you're going to find a real passion in what you're actually in this finite, I call it the finite realm, to do, which is the physical realm. Because sometimes you might be living a luxurious life, a life full of beauty, and you have sensual partners if you're a guy, or maybe a very special someone if you're a woman. But you still lack that feeling of like completion, that feeling of like that you're doing what's right. And sometimes that's only reflected through suffering. You have to suffer first to actually find the real enlightenment that you were looking for the whole time. And most of the time that enlightenment is within ourselves. So that's what the 16 is here to teach. I gave you guys the traits of it. In regards to career-wise for Soul Urge number 16, anything from philanthropy to religious occultists, scientists, political reformers, these are things that suit them best based on what their spiritual realization may lead them to. It may lead you to do something in politics, it may lead you to become some sort of religious leader, or it may lead you even to do something completely opposite of that. It could be something even really materialistic, such as like getting into like accounting or starting your own business. But more than likely, it's going to fulfill your spirit once you go through the quest of the Soul Urge number 16. It's there to help you find completeness within your own personality and bring you at one with the Akashic or the infinite realm. All right, so I hope that explains the Soul Urge number 16 very perfectly. If you have any more questions regarding the number, just please leave it in the comments for me. Aside from that, guys, like, subscribe, holla at me. That's it.